Now I'm going to be tying, now this is a wee hair wing fly, basically it's a kind of hair wing version of the Jock's got. There's the fly here. Now when we tie, you can see it's hair that's in this one, I'm going to be tying it with Rhea. So basically replacing the hair with the Rhea, because the Rhea is so bright in colour, and it's worth a try and worth a go, and it's very mobile, so it's going to be a bit of fun. So I hope you enjoy the tying of the fly. It's going to be a first for me, so you're going to see it exactly how it turns out as I go. Now the Jock's got obviously is a famous classic salmon fly, and originally it was tied with feather wing, but there's many variants of it, and I tie it right up the temple dog style, which is really popular with a few guys that I know. It's a good pattern. The size I'm tying is a size 10. This is a Mustad double. Now, or basically the Osprey double, much the same. The one from Vineyards, the exact same really. Now, the thread I'm going to be using, the uni thread, in 8/0 in black. We start away from the head, because I'm going to give a mark basically for, I'm going to put a black hen hackle on and then a throat of Guinea fowl, so I'm leaving that space for the throat just to give me a wee bit more room. So I'm going to catch in the black thread and remove the waste piece. Get some oval silver tinsel for the tag, and this is going to be the rib as well. So just use like a small, just a nice tinsel. Catch underneath. Full length of the body at this point, just to catch it so that there's no steps. And then run it down until just before it starts to, the curve of the bend starts to get round. And then we wind our tag, our former tag, the 4 turns, the tinsel down the bend of the hook, and then bring the tinsel between the hooks, pushing up. You can see, tighten this up. Just open the hook, you can actually just slightly open the hook with your nail, and you'll see it comes up. And then catch underneath, as you can see there. So it's caught in. Trim this away, now half the length of the body, which is going to be yellow floss. We tie in the tail at this point just to save a bit of bulk. Now I've got golden pheasant crest. Now we've got a couple of small feathers, so I want to thicken it up a wee bit because I want the colour of this. So I've got 2 small feathers. Just hold the tip of the tail. If these fibres are twisted, the twist then comes in here, so if you hold the tail within your fingers, it will sit really well. The length, basically, depending on the style, it's a standard style, so it's just obviously by the bend of the hook, a couple of turns. Now there's Indian crow tied in the tail of these flies normally, but I'm going to use a dyed red golden pheasant crest. So I'm just going to tie that on the top. And again, just tie it on, and there you go. So it just highlights it. It's quite simple. Now I'm going to basically cut it slightly at a taper so that I get a taper. The thread turns now. I'm going to tie these basically on nice and tight. Just take the thread up. And the way back down we tie in the tinsel. Soft it underneath. Oops, come back. And work our way down. Keeping things nice and clean. So any fibre that I want to get rid of, trim that away. Floss, I'm just using a uni floss. It's just in yellow, obviously. Now the way I'm going to tie this in, so I'm going to take the thread back up. I'm going to form there's basically in the traditional fly, you use toucan to give sort of fine feelers of veiling on the top and bottom. The way to get that I'm going to use the floss, so I'm going to tie the waist end forward a couple of turns just to hold, and then I'm going to wind the floss down the body. So take it all the way down and spread the floss, making sure that it's thin Just open it out and work your way up. Catch it underneath, must be underneath, a couple of turns down, then bring the rib up. Basically ignoring these, but I can trim away some of it. And then bring your rib up through, which you're looking round about 3 turns. There we are. You tie this off. Now basically tie it, I'm going to show you, come back so you can see what I'm doing. On this side as I come up, we tie it on the side of the hook, between the floss. So I come down a couple of turns, so making sure it's secure. Then I can basically fold back these floss ends, turn the hook upside down so that's underneath, and then just use your finger, watch the points of the hook, the hooks itself. You could, I'm just trying to save time doing this, but you can actually tie them in separate and come back later instead of doing this, but to me it speeds up the tying. So the oval tinsel is on the side of the hook. Now where you want it to start is where you tied it off, which is basically just on the same area. So what I do is then just short of the head, bring it back and come back down. And the way back down I tie in some black floss. It seems a bit fiddly, but when you tie 2 or 3 you get used to it. And then bring your floss down, right up against the body of the yellow part, and then bring your thread up, and then obviously bring your floss up. It is a wee bit more, it is fiddly, but as I say, once you've tied 2 or 3 it comes easy. Trim away your floss once you've formed your body, and then come up with your rib 2 or 3 times, tie it off, trim. And the length of the floss you want is just to the, some like it to the end of the body or to the end of the tag, so it's entirely up to yourself. So basically just about the tag end there. Go underneath, obviously turn it upside down, it makes it easier. Trim. Just a couple here. And there we are. Easy to tie. You don't need to put these in, it's up to yourself, but they look good. Now I'm going to use the Rhea first. I'm going to have the 3 main colours, which is yellow, red, blue. So I've got the Rhea. There we are. A nice tip. The Rhea is really bright. Now I'm going to take off say 4 or 5 fibres or so. Just get a wee look at them. We can line them up if we need. The reason that the Rhea is, it's a really strong colour, very mobile fibre. Even when you're tying it small like this. And what I'm trying to do here is line up the end, so doing a bad job, but we'll get there. Fill it until you're happy. It doesn't have to be perfect, but it can be close. The yellow part, I'm going to just halfway, you want it to taper, so you don't want it the full length of the wing, you want it obviously to taper out. So you're looking towards the end of the body, and we're looking probably a turn or so, turn or 2 just to hold it. And then go with the red, do the same, a few fibres. You want them a nice tapered tip, and again we'll try and line them up a wee bit better than they are. If we're happy, then we can tie them on. There you go. Just slightly longer. Again, a turn or 2 just to hold it. Just rubbing my finger on the tops to get it to sit. Go to the blue, the same again. You see how bright these fibres are. I say, I'm only doing this for a bit of fun. Normally you'd be using some hair. But there's quite a few flies now tied with Rhea like this, and it's a good way of using up these small feathers. So there's the blue, slightly longer than the red. I can trim these away, the waist. Add a wee bit of wax on my thread, tidy that area up. Just going to open these fibres, see the bit of like. It's fine. Get a black hen, just a black hen hackle. What we're doing here is, instead of tying the wing on in all one go, we're separating it and then tidying the area up with a hackle. It's a good way of, this is a way of tying kind of classic flies. You would be tying things like this separate, tidying areas up with something. Basically looking 2 or 3 turns. Follow up with the thread, 90-degree bend into the hackle, and then we can trim this away. Again, what I'm going to do is a wee bit of wax on my thread, give myself extra grip, and then you really need it there. So for the peacock curl, I could put swordtail, which is using the normal, but I'm going to use, I just think that it's in proportion with the size of the fly. It looks really good. And you just need, you can have a right and a left side. Tie these on the top. That basically gives you the idea of the peacock curl. But just before I go, I'm going to tie in some brown. This is some brown Rhea. I meant to do this. I want to tie it in at this point. I always forget something. But better to tie it on here, because it separates again. And I'm only putting a sliver on, I'm not putting many, maybe 4 fibres in this case. Turns. Come in with the peacock eye. You see I've got right on the left side. If you feel it's maybe too much, and it is just a wee touch, so we take some away. Draw it in, hold it, tie on the top. It's a right colourful looking fly this, so when you're tying with the hair, you've really got to watch how much you put on. Again, trim away the waist, tidy the head area up. See how it's sitting. It's okay. Now I'm going to put a throat of Guinea fowl. It's a small Guinea fowl feather. Get 2 flies out of this one feather, so I'll get enough from one side. Just bring the fibres out so they're starting to line up, and then we can tear it away from the feather. We can roll it so this basically mixes up the fibres. And then we can pinch it on, pinch and loop up the way. 2 or 3 turns. Turn it upside down here, and I can slightly spread it with my nail so it covers the bottom. That's fine. At the same time, we can come in here and trim away the waist. You've got wax on the thread. Again, it'll always give you a lot more grip. And it's looking not too bad. Now I'm going to finish off with a tiny bit of black. This is Arctic Runner, dyed black Arctic Runner. Just to finish it off. And then put jungle cock eyes. So not a lot here, just enough fibres just to give the impression of a colour. You could taper it. Basically, you want it slightly less, so you're tapering towards the eye. So tie it on the top. Just pinch and loop. Make sure it's secure. Trim away the waste. Wee bit of wax again. Don't want the hair pulling out. And then get 2 small jungle cock eyes. So tie one in at a time. Just take away, well done here, taking away the fibres at the bottom. Over it to the side of the hook. See jungle cock eye, it's not too bad. Same on the other side. Again, just remove the fine fibres on either side of the feather. Tying on the black area, so again, just look at the length, make sure the same length. Tie it on, nice and tight. Now what I'm going to do here is just lift these fibres back, always keeping the thread tight. These are the stems of the jungle cock. Just going to tidy the head up at the front and then come up over the top of these, folding back the stems of the jungle cock. Take your time. And this will, what I'll do is lock them in, not pull off. So what I'm going to do again, just got a wee bit of wax on my thread so that I can zigzag the thread onto these folded back fibres and make sure they're well tied on. No things just now and tie it off. You're looking at around 3 to 4 turns of the whip finish. Is enough to basically tie it off and trim away my thread. You can either break these off, jungle cock ends, or cut them away. We'll see if you can break off. Yep, leave it hard, so I'm just going to trim them away. Same on this side. Pays for you to do this, to fold back the stems, because I mean the jungle cock then's got to actually break off, not fall out or pull out, and they're dear enough without losing them. So, and there we go. Now what I'm going to do is varnish the head, but what I'm going to do is use the super glue first. Just touch the head all the way around, sealing it. Super glue will dry quick, as I always say to you. It's a great way of getting a quick shiny head. Allow that to dry and then obviously finish it off with the varnish.